What's up, y'all? What's up?
Listen, man, welcome back to the Last Word Podcast with your boy Breeze and Chris. Thank you for tuning in to episode 1. If you didn't already, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on your post notifications.
Yes.
Yeah, we got some good stuff in store.
Yes.
But I think they need to hear the rules again,
Listen,
bro.
man, if you are a new viewer, we got 2 rules on this show. So just remember these 2. The first one, if your feelings are hurt by any topic, that means you're guilty as charged.
And if it don't apply, you gotta let it fly.
You feel me? So, like, we want to make a quick shout out. We're going to do this every time until we get past this troubling time. Shout out to all the healthcare workers that's doing, the Lord's work on the front line. I'm going to continue to shout out people I know: Corey, Princess, Chanel, Lanisa, Andrew. Like, I appreciate everything y'all doing, man. Really.
Definitely shout out Jordan, shout out Jazz, shout out Michelle, my cousin Drea. I'm probably missing some people, but if I know you, thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all for real.
And just to give you a notice, the governor has expanded his community call to action. So we're urging all Delaware citizens, if you have experience in the healthcare or child care field, please visit de.gov/coronavirus, de.gov/coronavirus. There are paid opportunities, but we can't do this without everybody. So let's get it.
Sir.
Oh, my glasses. My glasses.
Man, during this time, I think people need a lot of encouragement. So, I know you big on the motivational quotes, man. You got one for us this week, man?
Yes, I got a quote. Listen, man. So this is from Dr. Meg J. It's a book that I like to talk about a lot. It's called Defining Decade: How to Make the Most of Your 20s, right?
Book plug.
Yeah, check that out. If you don't got it, you can hit me if you're around. But the quote is, an identity or a career cannot be built around what you don't want. We have to shift from a negative identity or a sense of what I'm not to a positive one or a sense of what I am. This takes courage. Dr. Meg J with the gym.
Sit on that one.
The gym of the week. You feel me? So you gotta come from a place where you're not just identifying, because it's very easy to identify what you don't want. Like what you don't want in a relationship, what you don't want as a job. Like, all right, let's start thinking, like, what do you want? You feel me?
Yeah, that's true.
Because that I feel like that gets you to where you want to go quicker. Feel me? I can say
all the bull.
Yeah, I can say I don't want to cook. Like, that don't tell me nothing. What do I want to do?
Cook. That's gonna tell you what ingredients you need to go get.
Exactly.
Don't let that go over your head.
I've been chefing it up during this corona. Nice little plug for all the ladies that like a man that can cook. You feel me?
Rare.
So you like a man that can cook? I ain't even introduced our
who was our special guest?
Because I was silent. I was waiting.
Listen, man, we got a special one right here. I don't want to give off too much because I know she has, her own announcement she wants to make. But this is a confidant of mine. This is a person that I feel like can really resonate with the main topics of this episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and let Miss Diamond introduce herself. You tell the people what you want. You feel me? You tell them. You tell them what you want them to know.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Greetings, loved ones. So my name is Diamond. I can be followed at Diamond Brianna. That is Diamond Brianna. One N and spelled like your regular diamond. I am an aspiring dentist. All jokes aside, I'm also a mother. A WOG.
A great mom, you heard. A great one.
My lovely daughter, Ava, who is 3 and very active. So, excited to be on the show and to see what these lovely guys have in store. Shout outs to them, Shout outs to them. Young black men in America, career, a lot of things going for themselves. So I'm very proud and I'm excited to see where this show goes. I'm excited to see how they evolve as men in the world. So that'll be fun. That.
Yeah, I definitely got some evolving to do.
Don't we all?
We know. So if Chris has anything else to say about me, he definitely can. Probably write a book, but that's coming soon. So stay tuned.
Yeah. I'm gonna start us off with a heavy statistic. So I did some research, and there was a study done 2015 United States just on the births in United States. So by the National Center for Health, 2015, it was a project done with the Center for Immigration Studies. And a number that stuck out to me was 77% of African American births were to unmarried mothers. 77% of African American births were to unmarried mothers. For whites, Caucasians, was 30%.
That's a big difference.
Yeah, Hispanics, I believe, was 56. Don't quote me on that, but if you want to look it up yourself, the National Center for Health 2015 study. So first, I want to ask, both of you all, like, what's your reaction when you hear that? Like, is it something you expected? Is it something that was out of pocket? Like, is it something you don't believe?
I definitely believe it. I definitely believe it. And just seeing the difference between African Americans and Caucasians in our country. We know that could be a whole nother episode. Yeah. Different, the different disparities of how we grow up. Just the mindsets. That could be a whole nother conversation. But wow, I just really was like, it was eye opening just to hear that, And then the fact that, and we'll get into it, that I kind of like contribute to that statistic at being a father who is not married. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, wow. But yeah, what do you think about that, Diane?
I think that's huge. First seeing those numbers, they were startling.
Yeah.
But just the way that America was built, if you think about how our ancestors got here, like you said, that's another episode. So yeah, that's not startling at all to me. Very believable. I'm also in that number, a statistic. I don't label myself as a statistic, but that is one that I fit into. So.
Right.
So basically, right? So 3 out of every 4 African American children born in 2015 in the U.S. is coming with an unmarried, mom. So that automatically defaults to a co-parenting lifestyle.
Or also sometimes there are people who are together that never get married that have
so like the cohabitation parents, right?
Yeah. So
in a sense, still co-parenting.
Yeah, it is.
So like, let me ask. I want to start with Dime. Since you are a featured guest and you're a proud mom.
Yeah.
Of course.
Could you tell me, what does co-parenting look like to you? And then I want Breeze, I want you to follow up on that.
Is there any template? That's a huge question. Is there any template to what co-parenting looks like? I feel like it's an ever-changing journey. So everybody's version is going to look different from day to day. Mine, it looks different. It's all dependent on the parent and just so many factors and variables. But if I had to give a number one, it would be having a happy, healthy child. So my co-parenting would revolve around that, whether it's, yes, we have to get along and we have to be there for our child, but how can we make the most of this and have no emptiness, have this child feeling no emptiness when they grow up, and to say, okay, yes, mommy was here, daddy was here, but I had a great childhood, and mommy and daddy can get along, and I'm comfortable with that. So I feel like there's no straight shot, there's no answer to that, but definitely healthy, happy child and healthy relationship, communication. Definitely.
That is key. Communication is, with anything, any relationship, especially when you're dealing with, with a child like 18 plus years, beyond, if it's going to be more than 18 plus years, you got to be in communication with your son or your daughter's father or mother, so the communication is a big thing. Before I go, did you want to add anything else to that? I had a question for you, like your current situation. I don't want to put you on blast.
Of course, no, go ahead. Ask all questions.
Put on the hot seat.
If you come on this show, let's make the disclaimer. If you come on this show, I'm looking at this camera. If you come on this show as a featured guest, you are automatically on the hot seat.
Automatically.
You've already accepted that non-negotiable.
Okay. All right, say no more then.
Seems pretty warm to me, but we'll see.
But yeah, I just was wondering, so speak on y'all relationship, like is it healthy, things that, you feel like, I know it's probably a journey, but I'm gonna just let you do your thing.
Yes. So what year? Present.
Present.
Okay. So past, present, I would say we have a pretty amicable relationship.
Yeah.
It depends. Everybody's dealt a different hand, and I would say for me, you really have to know how to navigate that hand. When I'm navigating the world of co-parenting, I take the situation and I look at it and I say, okay, this may be his view, this is my view, this is baby's view, and everybody else involved. How is this going to affect everybody involved, with the primary person or primary focus being that child, the well-being of that child?
Yeah.
So I would say now I couldn't even say what it looked like. I couldn't even say what it looked like. My co-parent, he travels a lot, so he's in several different states. I've been in Delaware, and then I was recently at Rutgers for school. So that was just interesting. I mean, I've been in school minus 1 year. So my daughter is going to be 4, and I've been in school 3 of those 4 years. So it's different, especially because my first year that she was here, he was in school and I was in school, so it was kind of like
like finding a balance.
Yeah, imagine like a long distance relationship, but like as far as
parents.
parenting, so it was
like you said,
like, okay, are you gonna FaceTime? Are you gonna call? Are you gonna like record? What are you gonna do?
We should
figuring that out, yeah. So
yeah.
Oh, talk about the FaceTime. And it definitely depends on if you're co-parent. I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but if your co-parent is willing to work with you, I think that's huge. I'll be honest, and at the beginning, I did not have a co-parent that was willing to work with me. Things have evolved. They've gotten better. Are they perfect? No. Do I expect perfect? No. But do I expect better? Absolutely. And I'm the type, I can see you for who you are, where you are, but I'm going to expect growth. And I'm going to apply pressure every single time. Like, you guys were talking about, what is it called? Mama's boys. Be a mama's boy all day long. But guess what? When you're dealing with me, like, you're going to level up. You're going to level up.
Sheesh.
No excuse.
Sheesh.
Like, you're going to have to come out better, because it's not just about us. It's about this person. And I always look at it, I'm a product of, I came from a single home, but my mother, she did an amazing job. She had she had a force behind her. So, I mean, what's the word they use? Nostalgic. My childhood was great. It was great. So I expect only better for her.
Yeah.
So yeah, if that answers your question, does that?
No, you definitely answered it. That was good. Yeah. And I won't harp on mine too much. I mean, I guess my definition of co-parenting would be like definitely putting the child first, like you said. Just to reiterate that. My current relationship with my son's mother, and that's another thing. Like, I don't refer to her as baby mom.
No.
So I think that's important.
Yeah.
That's an important one. My son's mother,
I hate that. I hate that.
She's a great mom. At first it was rocky. We were 19 when we had him. You feel me? I was like a full-time college athlete playing basketball.
Shout out to the group.
Definitely growth. It's a journey. But when when all the feelings and all of that is aside, you grow up, you realize like it's for that beautiful child. And we're working together great. And I'm blessed because I know it could be way worse. I hear horror stories all the time.
Oh, you do now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I'm blessed with the situation I'm in. So yeah. CJ?
Yeah, you see, I took the tie off, so it's game time.
Oh, he said it's getting hot for real.
Yeah, man, this is a topic that really hits home. I was hesitant to talk about it, but you got to speak up, man. And I feel like I carry a lot of weight of a lot of fathers that didn't have the resources I had to fight for their child, for their rights. You feel me? My co-parenting situation is not great. It's still not great. I feel like a lot of things only happen because it's legally bound, and I just, I had the resources and the support to fight that, to fight a very skewed system, But we can talk about that later. As far as co-parenting, I believe it's something where, it like Diamond was saying, there's got to be a lot of open communication. Like, it's got to be a lot of conversations need to be like, okay, what type of child do you want to raise? Like, what do you want this to look like as an adult? And that kind of frames like what you do, how you discipline, the values you teach, the people you have them around. And if you don't have that, then now this child is forced to figure out two different lifestyles. It's hard.
You gotta be on the same page.
It's hard. I came from a single parent household. It was weird. Like my father was involved, but like I lived with my mother my entire life, and it played a role, man. Like as much as I could sit here and try to act like it didn't, it did. You know what I'm saying? So, I hate the fact of like repeating that cycle.
Yeah.
I'm big on like all of us have one kid right now, and my whole thing is like the next one, like nah, it stops. Like
You gotta break those
next time.
generational curses.
So
So I mean, if you were to have another child, like you basically saying you want to do it the right way in marriage.
Yes, so that means either my next child will be my intentions. I can't stop, what happens in the future, but all my 100% is if my next child, like I should at the very least be engaged to this person or planning on it, like really close, like we ring shopping type time. You feel me? So
shout out to the ring shopping.
Yeah, man. Listen, man, I just
got mine.
Whoa. Are you out there?
Are you listening?
Are you out there?
She got some requirements. You already got to level up from what you're doing.
No mama's boy. She said you could be a mama's boy, but she gonna break you out of that.
I didn't say I would break you out of that. Like you can be a mama's boy, definitely.
Okay.
But like you
bad.
have to be open minded. Like
of course.
Are you not like everything we go through? Hey yo, mom. Hey yo, or you saying I'm gonna cook for you, cook for me, and then you call. Hey yo, mom. So what was that?
So do you? I just want to just make sure I check in on this. Do you have to be open minded as well?
Open-minded
because you just said you want that person to be open minded, right? Mm-hmm. So when I first heard that, I'm like, oh, she wants somebody to conform. So that's why I'm asking you, like, do you have to be open minded as well? So there's a balance to it.
Open minded.
Because open minded can't be just on things you're comfortable with. That's not open minded. Open minded is dealing with things uncomfortable.
I don't like the word conform because conform makes it sound like it's forced.
Yeah.
I like the word
compromise.
Involved.
No,
compromise.
I phrase it like that for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to put you on hot seat.
Go ahead. Open it up.
Yo, listen. So let me ask this question. So when it comes to, because we all deal with this, when it comes to tax time, who claims the child? Is it an every other year thing? Is it just whoever lives primarily? Is it whoever files first? Like what's y'all situation? I'll speak on mine too, and hopefully we can try to figure out consensus or something.
I've never. My son lives with his mother primarily, in another state. I've never asked to claim him at all, and I ain't never get no bread either.
Hey, you're getting extra $600 with the stimulus check.
That's what I said. I'm gonna have to call her after this.
No, that's okay. Don't do it.
I'm just messing. Nah, we got a good relationship. I'm cool with the way things are. He's with her primarily. I'm fine over here. Okay. I'm fine. Yeah.
And I think that's huge as a man, because you have men who are like, oh, when your check dropping,
hit that mic up. Hit that mic up.
When your check dropping, when are you dropping? Goodbye. Like, absolutely not. So I feel like that's huge. As far as who claims, I think it's different, because if you are someone who is in school and does not have an occupation and the other parent does, then the other parent. And then if you guys want to go 50-50, but I mean, I've seen so many different versions of it where it's mothers primarily, claiming the child. And if I feel as though if the child is with mother 90% of the time, or majority over 50% of the time, then this may be biased, but absolutely. If the communications is open enough to where it's 50-50, or dad is falling on rough times and he's like, I'm on rough time. And she's like, okay, go ahead and claim. Or, he wants to buy a car. So it's like, okay, go ahead and claim. But I feel like having that conversation is huge, because I've seen it before as well, where it's like dad goes ahead and claims on the second or the third whenever H&R Block opens up, and it's like, oh, I'm at your front door. We ready to get out.
She pulling up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you do pop-ups.
Oh,
we gonna hit it.
Yeah, make sure y'all tune in on Thursday.
Thursday.
IG Live Thursday.
IG Live Thursday. Tune in with us, but we gonna hit that later. I'm interested to hear your perspective on this one.
Pop-ups is definitely a topic, but on this tax. So yeah, I've already had sour experiences with this.
Yeah.
I not to get too specific, but I truly believe, like you said, there needs to be a lot of communication when it comes to this. being a father that, you know, not only financially helps, but, you know, actually is actively involved in my child's life. I truly believe there should be some type of split. Like, there should be some conversation about that.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, you can't get every single financial resource for, you know, a child that you don't cover 100%.
100%.
You know
Okay.
if you did, I can't knock that. You feel me? Like, I couldn't say nothing. Like, I don't condone any man that, like, don't do everything in his willpower till he, like, broke down on his ass to, like, fight for their kid. I can't.
Those would be mostly the ones that ask for the bread.
I can't advocate for it. You feel me? I'm only advocating for yeah. I'm only advocating for men that's, like, in my situation. Yeah. That's, like, actively trying, you know, and not just doing something but going above and beyond. Like, if you're not doing that, then, like she said, like, you don't got to deal with that child every day. You feel me?
Yeah.
I've got to see both sides. Like, I've seen my father and my mother fight about this.
Yeah.
Literally.
Goodness.
Shout out to moms. I know she watching. I know you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like, and I'm going through it now. So, you know, it's interesting. But like I said, I think the consensus, like, for anybody that's watching that, you know, has kids or is thinking about it, like, these are conversations you need to have, like, beforehand. Like, I'm telling you, like, a lot of these conversations, if you ask, I guarantee, like, all the guys, like, I can't stand a guy, but, I just want to get your baby. Like, you're just trying to be attached. You feel me? Like, the biggest thing, like, ask these 3 questions, and I guarantee, like, if you're not messing with this person, you ain't gonna have a baby. How you feel about the baby having, like, the traditional, like, my last name, the father, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ask them, you know, if we not together, like, you know, how much say-so do I have with, like, you know, who my kid sees?
Wow.
And then you ask, if you had a kid right now, like, what's the top 3 values you teaching? You ask those 3 questions. Those 3 questions right there. You going, I promise you, your perspective,
right there,
your perspective will change. It could change in a very good way. It could change in a very bad way. But these are questions that I really think, like, I wish I asked, you know, before I had a child, before I engaged in activities that could lead to having a child. You feel me? So I think it's key to ask these questions.
Speaking, you brought up a good point. That second one, I think you said, how much say so do you have with who comes around your child? So let's speak on it.
Yeah, let's talk about
blended families. How do you feel about that? Like, it's inevitable. Like, if you're not with your child's mother or father at the moment, you know, and you plan on moving on in the future, in them as well, they're going to have to. It's going to be 2 other people involved. How do y'all feel about it?
So, like the importance of, like, respecting the co-parents through relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, once again, very skewed situation. I just got introduced to, you know, the relationship, like, at the court, like, you know.
At court. Bull pulled up the court.
Yeah, he pulled up the court.
That's why you know Court Chris.
Yeah, and that's why I'm no Court Chris, I guess. You feel me?
Yeah, if you missed the IG live, you missed out on
you missed why I called no Court Chris.
Hashtag.
You missed that. So I think, me personally, everybody has a preference. Yeah. And like I said, I think these preferences need to be talked about before the baby, after the baby, during the baby. You feel me?
Yeah.
Just like, you know, how do you plan on doing it? Like, for me, it's different because, like, my son does live with me primarily. You feel me? So, like, there's only so much I can say or do. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you just gotta accept it. You know, if you're not the primary person. For me, it's like I try to do it the way I would want somebody to do it with me. So it's like, hey, starting to get serious with somebody, I just want you to meet them so you know who they are. And, you know, if you got other questions, like,
that's respect.
You know, don't hesitate. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, like, I always think about it like, all right, if I'm dating somebody with a kid, first thing I'm saying to the father is like, listen, bro, I can never take your place. I'm not trying to. But me being serious with the mother of your child, like, I'm going to be around. So just know
the type of man I am.
Yeah, just know, like, when I'm around, I'm going to take care of your child to the best of my ability.
Facts.
Now,
that's 100.
If you're a thorough nigga, you're going to respect that. If you're an insecure dude, you're going to, I guess, try to play macho man. And then I got to put you down in front of your kids. Like, that's not the way I want to go.
We don't have to go there, you know? We don't want to have to go there.
And I feel like those are ideal situations. Like, you want your significant other to be introduced to your co-parent off rip. I feel like that's just, I
don't let nobody, like, anybody know, I don't let nobody around my kid. Like, we gotta be serious. You feel me? And like, you gotta have that conversation. Like, that's how I'm doing it. That's just me. Everybody different. You feel me? So I'm interested to hear what y'all got to say.
So if you marry, I got this question for you. Whenever you get married one day, how does that play into it? Like, hey, speak it into existence. It's already done. It's already done. It's already done.
If you looking for dime,
that's the second drop she didn't put out.
If you looking for dime,
you
better be having the intentions to court. We ain't doing no dating, just intention courting.
But if God didn't send you, return to sender. Real quick.
Wowzers. Hey, that's heavy though. That's heavy. She laying the foundation right now. Expectations. Who comes first though?
That's a huge question. I feel when you're a single parent, definitely your child, because things can always change. If I were, to have gotten married first, I would say definitely my spouse, and then children. And at first, when I was younger, I'm like, Mom, you would rather do that. You would put somebody else before me. But I feel like your spouse, that's kind of your backbone. That's your equal. That's your partner. And kids, they come and go. They're there for that 20 however year, period. And then it's just like, okay, all the kids are gone. It's me and you. And we're looking at each other and it's like, well, what's next? Yeah. So I would definitely say that partnership would come first. But when you already have a child, it's different because you need to make sure that child's set. And
even after you get married, if you had that child before the marriage, because someone asked me this, I can't remember who it was. They were like, if you were on a sinking ship, you could only save your kids or your spouse. For me, it would be my wife.
Right.
Who are you saving?
I'm saving my kid, Ava. I got you.
But you just said kids come and go. It's hard to think about. It's hard to think about. But like your wife, y'all can create more kids.
As a stepfather, like if I mentally,
you can get another wife. You can get another husband.
Mentally, bro. If I'm a stepfather, I already have accepted that I'm number 3. And I say this, I'm gonna prove my point. You're not gonna save me above yourself.
Yeah.
You're not gonna save me above a kid. Mm-hmm. That's like as a step person. You feel me? Shout out to my mentor. Like we talked about this a little bit. I ain't gonna throw his name out there, but like we talked about this. Like you kind of gotta accept, like as a step parent, you are, when it comes to life or death, married or not. Like I don't expect your instincts to kick in and say this. Like I expect rationality. To kick in, because a marriage is a rationale type of commitment. Like it's a commitment to work on an everlasting compromise. I don't expect your instincts to kick in from a baby that you birthed versus me.
Yeah, definitely. That's why when I heard that question, it's like, it's hard to, I would never, God forbid I ever am in that situation. But
I'm saving my kid. I don't care about my wife. I can get another one, like she said.
But then you can think about it from the other side. It depends on your values or like your religious views on everything. Like your wife's supposed to come first before anything.
She is.
What scripture is that? I don't want to put you on spot.
I don't know it. I don't know. No, that is. I ain't gonna say. I don't know it verbatim.
That's okay. I
don't know it verbatim. But listen, I'm gonna come back at episode 3 just because she put me on the spot. I don't know it. I don't know it right now.
I'll be in the comments.
I ain't gonna lie.
You better come back with some
transparent with.
And that's how you have to be.
Yeah.
I think it's in Luke.
And Luke is in Luke.
What is it like? Cleave. You leave your parents and cleave. I don't know that. You cleave to your wife.
If the husband, if he finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Like
and you cleave unto your wife.
A good thing.
I'm paraphrasing. At least I knew a little bit.
She is selling herself on this show.
Grandma gonna be mad at me.
She is like,
I'm like, Breeze, I done told you. But no, I want to transition into another segment that we got. Oh yeah, God bless you. I know who's. Yeah. Another segment that we want to start incorporating is called This or That.
Yeah.
So
we're jumping into this or that.
This or that. So
what's the question?
And we all gonna answer. We keep it short and sweet, but this is the question at hand. Would you rather go a whole year without sex or social media? We can start with you, Don.
Hot seat.
Sex. It depends. Am I married or not?
Whoa.
Am I married or not?
See, now I don't like when you start putting all these extra parameters.
Are you married now?
Interpret the question how you think. Interpret the question how you think.
Okay.
And the question is, would you rather go a whole year without sex or social media?
Sex. But I can go a whole year without social media if it matters.
No, because you just contradicted yourself. I don't understand.
Pick one.
You said you picked one, but then you said I have the ability to do the other. I mean, that's a given because we're saying this or that. Like we assume that you have the capability of doing.
I'm gonna put the pressure on her.
Would you rather? Like, what is your preference?
If she's married.
If I'm married.
You sleeping with your husband every night. No sex or
social media. Sorry.
Whoa.
I'm sending this to your mom.
No, don't do it. Please don't do it.
That's I like this question though.
I'm going without social media for a fact. For a fact. Single, marriage or not, I'm not going that long without it.
You got your needs. So you never went a whole year without sex before? Since you started getting activated.
Boy, I didn't go.
Let's not.
Oh man. Hot seat, right? Look. Last word.
This is the last word with Breeze and Chris.
Don't forget, subscribe. What would I answer this? I've actually went a whole year without sex multiple times.
I'm taking my headphones off.
I need a hand clap
Wait,
for that.
tell the ladies,
I
are
need
you
a hand
single?
clap for that.
Are you single? Are you single? Tell the ladies, please.
Pringle.
They love to know.
Like $1 bill.
A
whole year, bro.
Like,
so the first time.
You didn't ask me that question.
He done did it multiple times. You're not a guy.
Okay.
Your impulse control is different.
The first time was in high school. And I got through it. You feel me? I was a late bloomer anyway, so it wasn't that hard. But
what he say
is for a man.
He said late bloomer. No, what did he say after that? The late bloomer. Before that, my bad.
No, I said it was in high school. The first situation was over a year.
I mean, everybody's in high school. What you gonna say? 10th grade? That's not late.
No. When I lost my journey, like going into 11th grade.
That's not late, bro. I was a senior.
To the people I know.
Oh yeah, because
Delaware. I was not expecting that.
But what you won't do is sit here and talk about Delaware in front of two Delawareans. That's what you won't do. Gotcha.
I mean, we can go about the stats. I got the stats for you. Let's talk about it.
The second time was in college. It was after I had my son. I was in a different mental space.
Yeah. Talk about it.
It was really like, perfect for me. I was like had the closest relationship to God than I ever had, and I'm striving to be back there now and actually go beyond it. But my short, she went to school in Jersey. It was a long distance relationship at that. So that maybe made it easier for me.
We gotta talk about long distance relationship at some point.
Oh yeah, write that down. Note that one. But yeah, I went. It was over a year. It was successful. We just didn't work out for other reasons, but it wasn't for the sex. It was. I'm not saying it was easy. I definitely went on a couple dates with Hannah Montana and Pamela Anderson, but sorry.
Noobs don't cheat. We might go on dates, but
noobs don't cheat. Wholesome noobs. But yeah, so I definitely would say I would do where I'm at in my life right now. I would go a whole year without sex because social media is like my bread and butter right now for like business for business wise. Like I literally rely on social media to a certain extent. So
I respect it.
Yeah, so that's my answer to it.
I had a crazy comment, but I'm chilling.
Nah, chill for what?
I gotta chill.
Chill for what?
Ask me another question.
I gotta chill.
More questions.
John said she want another question.
She want more questions. All right.
So would you?
Let me
controversial conversations,
man. Let's put her on the
book question.
I want to put her on the hot seat.
Crazy question.
I want to put you on the hot seat, and I'm going to go back to this whole co-parenting blended families conversation, right? And this is not on the sheet.
This
is something I came up with. So back to the FaceTime because I wanted to go back to that.
Oh yeah.
So what are the parameters, right? So like your co-parent has a significant other. Like what's the parameters? Like are you calling after 10? Like
yo, this is
are you FaceTiming? Question. Like cause like I've seen some couples where like the guy, and I'm just speaking on what I've seen. The guy will FaceTime, and it's kind of at random times. And I think granted you want to see your kid, but I think more so like you just trying to control what's going on.
You want to be in a loop too.
You want to see what's going on.
Yeah,
and like I've seen it on both sides. I've seen it.
Want that old
no,
thing
I
back?
said whoa.
That's what it sounds like.
Or they want that old thing.
Okay,
back.
okay. Clarification.
And like, so how do you? I haven't dealt with that. Like, my mother, my child got another person. So I haven't had to deal with like, oh, she's still trying to be in the mix or something like that, or she hasn't had to deal with me. So you did the roll your eyes and all that. I know everybody can't see that, but I want you to go first.
Not on duty.
But I want you to go next.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. In my last relationship, my son's mother would call, like, mind you, my son lives in Louisiana. You feel me? So that's another grind in itself.
People
you feel
some
me?
context.
Some context, you know. So we rely a lot on FaceTime when he's not with me. Can't wait for the summertime. Hopefully this COVID don't mess that up. It's my little man, but
COVID ain't stopping you.
Oh no, the flights is already booked. You already know. So, but you know, my last relationship, like she would call and like mind you, like in the beginning we had a really like rocky relationship. So when we got to a good place, I want to cherish that, and I'm trying to like sustain it, you know. And my significant other at the time didn't really understand that. And her just being a significant other, she want to protect me at all costs. You feel me? So she like, oh nah, she can't. Why she doing that? She still wants you. She trying to do this and that. And I was trying to explain like, nah, like you feel me? I don't know what her intentions are, but I don't want to mess this relationship up. But at the same time, I had to still respect my girl at the time. So yeah, I've definitely dealt with it. She's called late nights before. She's asked me like inappropriate questions before. And it was just like, dang, I don't really know how to, like, it was really awkward. So I have dealt with it. But what I did do when I was in a relationship, I checked it. I let my son's mother know, like, hey, no disrespect, but you can't, you know, ask me no question like that. Like, my girl don't appreciate that. Especially because my girl at the time was in my phone. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Wait, on the FaceTime call?
No. Like, she...
Okay. We ain't gonna talk about people's times today, but we gonna talk about
I ain't putting nobody in, but no bad stuff. I ain't throwing shade. But it was just definitely like I had to put that foot down. So like CJ said, like you gotta, you know, have that communication, and not just with your partner, but also with your son's mother or your daughter's father. Let them know like what's off limits, know the boundaries, especially when you're in a serious relationship, because that can be a big hindrance. Somebody that's dealing with somebody with a child. So. Probably long-winded, but my bad.
No, that was good. I think definitely the respect and the communication with the significant other, and letting them know, because it depends on what stage in the relationship, because I've been through it before, and it's like, okay, well, if the person, okay, so I've had it where I've gotten random calls, you know, all types of times of day, or vice versa. I'm used to, you know, just calling whenever, and then the conversation had to be had. Oh, well, so-and-so doesn't like it because, and I'm like, okay, I'm not disrespectful. I understand. Or vice versa. It's like, well, even though I may not have a significant other, these are the days and times I'm available to speak, whether it be Monday, Wednesday, Friday, from 6 to 9. I'm available at those times. If you can't catch me, I'm sorry. If it's a special occasion like your birthday or a holiday, of course, I'll give you that time. But anything outside of that is a no-go. But I think definitely having that communication back and forth with all parties. And if your significant other is really rocking with you, then absolutely, they're going to be understanding.
Like
but
emergency, they may have to call you late night. You never know. You feel me? But like you said, it's the communication part of it, you know. But I feel like I've never been on the other side of it. I've never dealt with somebody with like seriously. I've talked to people, but I've never like really been in a serious relationship with somebody that has a child. So sometimes I like try to put myself in the other person's shoes. Like, dang, well, how would I feel about that? Like if I was messing, my girl like father of their child, I don't want to say baby dad, you know, not trying, you know, be stereotypic, but if they was to call them late night, I'll probably be like, yo, like, and it wasn't an emergency, what he calling you for? Like, what's up with you?
And they
might,
that might just be them, and they understand
each
other.
But I'm on the outside looking in, I'm just like, oh, you still want boy? But that's a whole other thing if you insecure about it. But if we never had that communication, like if it was just a random, you know, we in the bed and then you do, I mean, he called me, I'm like, yo, I might answer.
Well, you might have to. It's 11, 12 o'clock, and he calls.
I'm like, what you need?
If she don't get the phone up, then
child cool or no?
We definitely like this ain't it. We're gonna expand on this. We're gonna do a part 2. Mm-hmm. You know, where we at? 45? We at 45 or 40? All right, so we're gonna end. What we're starting to do is we have a last segment. It's called Controversial Conversations. This is where we get out of pocket. So if you know, family to me personally, and you don't want to see me get out of pocket, you should turn off the episode now. If you are one of them people that want to see it, then enjoy the show. So
my fam is still tuned in. Guarantee.
Controversial conversations. Topic number 1.
It's here.
I'm gonna start
drink.
because I love putting our featured guests on the hot seat. I'm gonna start with Diamond. Would you get back together with an ex? With an ex, not the immediate, just an ex. And if so, why?
And if not, why?
Exactly. Yeah, I like that.
Oh man.
I hope all your exes.
They probably watching, and if I say yes, they're gonna be in the DM.
I hope they watch.
Tune in. We're gonna.
I would say yes, it definitely, because I'm a big person on seasons, and it depends on the season. I could have been talking to you previously for 2 weeks, 2 months, and it just wasn't our season. And who knows, you might be my future husband. Where you at? And you come back into my life, and we are.
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off.
That was the third time. She is scouting.
Dime is ready.
I gotta
so
stop
if you're
talking
out there
about it.
and you meeting these expectations, just pay attention
and pray on it.
What's your name again on Instagram?
At Diamond Brianna.
At Diamond Brianna.
And also, I have to plug this. I should have plugged it earlier. At Mommy Make It Happen. Make It Happen, Mommy.
Say that in the mic.
Make It Happen, Mommy on Instagram. It's for mothers pursuing medicine. So definitely check it out. Relaunch is April 30th. Now that I've said that, I gotta commit to it. So definitely tune in April 30th. We have some good news and some good giveaways. Moms pursuing medicine. Definitely, if you know any mothers who are pursuing medicine on their way, on their journey, definitely tell them to go ahead and add the page. Yeah,
definitely adding that. I'll forward it to all the mothers I know.
Yeah.
Like so that. Basically, you said you would go back to an ex if it made sense. Basically.
What about you, Breeze? What about you? What about you? Would you go back to an ex? Because I know some of your exes are watching.
Yikes.
Hot seat.
That is definitely a hot seat. I guess the season would matter. If things were the same as before, I feel like things ended for a reason.
Yeah.
And I don't want to backtrack.
Don't want to backtrack.
People do change. I change. I'm a different person since my last relationships and stuff like that. I change, and you learn certain stuff in all your relationships, but you definitely learn if you are compatible with a certain type of person. And I'm not ready to be in a relationship right now anyway.
Sorry to break your heart.
But people grow up.
But I say that now, but I'm a lover boy, so next week it could be different. But I'm just being honest. I'm not about like I ain't gonna lie, like after my last relationship I told myself like, bro, I ain't getting in a relationship for like a couple years. Like I'm done. But it's like I don't want to block my blessings because I can meet my wife tomorrow.
And okay.
You feel me? So I'm all about timing and happen. People know me. People that know me know I love this word. Things happen organically. It shouldn't be forced.
Like you could very well meet your future wife on one of these fucking podcasts, brother.
Yeah.
Feel me? Like we got a lot of featured guests. We got a lot of talented women coming on this show. Feel me?
Hold on. So,
on the show.
Yeah. Did you answer this question?
Oh, I did not.
He did not.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't change the subject yet.
You got me. My answer to that is recycle. Yo, I am a big fan of sustainability, and I do recycle. You can interpret that however you want. I could care less. Me personally, like I know what I mean by that, and anybody that I recycle with knows what I mean by that. So to answer your question, yes. And I say that for very important reasons. So like one, like an ex that you like. Me personally, I don't have a lot of exes. I got probably I think 5, maybe 6. I think it's 5 though.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a good amount.
For serious relationships?
Yeah.
That's
like boyfriend, girlfriend,
okay,
or talking.
all right, so now I got to go through it in my head. All right, I got 1, 2 in high school.
Jessica,
3.
Katrina.
Okay, I got 4. Oh, I got to count the mother of my child. So I got 5. I got 5. Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's not bad. That's not bad.
That's not bad for me. If you know
25?
Me, I'm okay. If you know me, that's not bad.
95 babies. Can we just give some credit to the 95 babies?
What are we giving credit for?
Are you 25 yet?
Were you quarantined on your birthday? Oh. Also, let me plug this. For everybody who lost their birthday due to the quarantine, I'm sorry. I apologize. But don't think you're going to do yours over top of July, August, September. No.
You don't
no matter of fact,
you don't think
we are
quarantined
don't
in July?
do it.
You don't think we're going to quarantine in July?
Well, hopefully not. I mean, people are acting like Corona willing, but I'm saying God willing because I got a lot of things in store for me 2020, and I'm finna get all of it. Okay.
When your birthday quarantine too, I don't want to keep that same.
Don't say that. That's all right. Well,
we're not gonna speak that into existence because I'm supposed to have my party in July. We're supposed to have a party for my 25th.
And you were sitting there looking at your suit like this.
Yo, you know what's crazy though? I was supposed to go on IG Live on my birthday too, and IG Live wasn't even working that night.
Oh.
I had on my birthday glasses and everything.
Wait, but you did get on there. You were like, come back.
Oh no, that was like a couple days. That was my TikTok. Follow me on TikTok.
You be on his page.
Not on my timeline.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to end the show. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This episode will be up this week. We are getting the Apple Podcast copywriting situation taken care of.
Yeah, they doing us dirty right now, but we definitely getting that situated.
You fixed that little situ?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we should have that by this week. I apologize. I like to be a man of my word. But subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Last Word Podcast, all one word, featuring Breeze and Chris. All right, you know?
We will be dropping the links. It's in our bios on Instagram at Real Estate Breeze.
Yep. Like I said,
you better know his.
You won't find it. I don't gotta tell you. You feel me? I probably don't want you to follow me. So
don't find it.
Nah, Dime, definitely. Thank you for taking the time to come sit with us during this time.
This is part one.
This is some great insight.
We're doing a part two with a marriage counselor. So we really gonna get into this blended families.
This is important, you know, for people our age who have children young. So
hey, I mean, if you look at the stats that I looked at, a lot of us are going to, by the time we're 28. We're going to encounter a serious relationship with a person that has a child. So continue to listen. Like I said, next episode, well, not next episode, but part two of this, we'll talk more about dealing with, you know, a child ages 5 to like teenagers. Like, how do you deal with that type of blended family?
Teenagers.
That's a whole different episode. You feel me? Like, I can't talk about all that right now. So, you know, like I said, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you got any comments or feedback that you don't want to post there, you want to post privately, or issues you want us to talk about, email us at thelastword1911@gmail.com. Again, thelastword1911@gmail.com.
Also, if you're pre-dent and you want some advice, let me know. Mommy make it happen. Diamond Brianna. Don't hesitate to DM me or diamond.higgin@gmail.com. That's my thing. I love to do give back and help.
She got the resources. Yeah. Y'all see the 4-carat 4-carat watch on. So on that note, before she say something, we're gonna end the show because we know she be watching Bree's Instagram. So thank y'all for tuning in, and I appreciate it.
That's funny.